All right, this is Randalicious. Welcome to the 16th Hexis podcast. This podcast being streamed for those who are watching. If you have any questions, any topics, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll answer some of the good ones at the end. This is a little different podcast. Case Ace is going to be hosting it. So without further ado, Case, take it away.
Thanks, Randy. All right, guys, welcome to the 16th Hexis podcast. I'm TheCaseAce, and I hunt things.
Trance, I'm rank 9 overall.
And I'm Acid 200 mil mining old school Runescape.
I am Time Paradog, formerly known as Trickool, but I'm still the guardian and preserver of the old school feel.
All right, so let's get into it. So, for the first question, what do you guys do to keep yourself motivated while you're playing RuneScape?
Well, I guess I should take this one. Well, if you're grinding skills, I guess you should never be afraid of boredom, as it is just a natural side effect of repetitive behavior, but generally I'd recommend to watch as few movies or series as possible, because they should be the safety net that you resort to only when you really had enough of that repetition. And from an experience, I can tell that it's a lot more rewarding and helpful that way. And I guess also being motivated doesn't have to mean that you have to get obsessed, so just take all the breaks you feel that you need and give your mind the time to adjust. And I guess if you're already motivated, then I guess you don't need anything else than just know yourself and keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Acid said it pretty well. There's also something that Acid said is have desire for the goal that you have in mind. Desire is the most powerful form of motivation, he said. The wise philosopher Acid Soul. That and just, talk to people. Have a clan or something to keep you motivated. People going for the same sort of goals that you are, or of the sorts, so like grinding. Just have your friends.
Yeah, I agree with both you two. I think you just made a really good point, Trick, with the clan. Hexis is like a big thing to me, and it really does keep me motivated, having like-minded people around that are playing with you and grinding with you as well. But I think just setting goals, keeping consistent goals throughout your playing, and yeah, that can just keep you like on the right track and enjoying what you're doing. Obviously, is the number one key as well.
Yeah, for me, it's just enjoying what I'm doing. There's been times where I've done skills that I haven't enjoyed, and it really hasn't made the the gameplay too pleasurable. So I just stick to things that I enjoy doing and keeps me motivated.
And I guess I could add that if you suffer from something like post-achievement anxiety or stagnation, I personally have found that just choosing a skill that seems least bad is, I guess, a very good strategy. You just should push on and go for it for a few weeks, and eventually, with the moderate help of movies or music and support from like-minded people, it should balance out over time.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of trance to keep motivated. Pumped.
Yeah, same for me. Music is very important for me to reach that flow state.
The kind of music that I listen to doesn't really get me into that kind of like state of mind. Yeah, my music is you can't really get into a zone. It's just everything yeah, not good.
Yeah, definitely. So the next question comes in, and it's about the PvP competition that Jagex have recently announced, and apparently they're giving away $10,000 to the winners of this. I've read a little bit into it. Seems kind of interesting, but the question's about they can give away $10,000 in this competition, but they can't get Australian servers up. So what's up with that?
Man, when I read this, I really couldn't believe what I was reading. $10,000. Jesus Christ! I think that is ridiculous. I think that we really have needed Australian servers for a while. I tweeted this out. I was like, they can give away 10K, but they can't get Aus servers, and I got like 20 favorites on it. I think a lot of people are very surprised at this news. They've never given away money before for competition, so this is something very new at the same time. I think it's just very overwhelming amount of money to give away to some nerds.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like it's too much money for sure. I think even if it was like 1,000 or 2,000, that the players of RuneScape would definitely be happy with even that amount. But yeah, this one kind of hits close to home with me. I definitely want Australian servers because, as a lot of people will know, us Aussies have pretty terrible ping, and makes that gameplay a little less enjoyable at times. So yeah, I reckon we can get some Australian servers around sometime. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they're trying to make RS into more like an esport, but yeah, 10,000 is a bit steep considering that money could be invested into other aspects to the business a lot, and would be a lot more beneficial to the game. Australian servers being the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to talking about a long-term investment, because the fact that we're 2 and a bit years into the game and still not got the Aussie servers is annoying, and not even Australian. So yeah, I mean, who said it was Case? $2,000, $1,000 would suffice really for the first attempt at making RS into an esport. 10,000 is far too steep considering the money does need to be reinvested into other aspects of the game.
Yeah, I agree with the previous comments pretty much. I guess 10,000 is a bit too much for such RNG-based activity, I guess.
My opinion, I don't think 10 grand is really that much money. From a business perspective, like I don't know how much Australian servers would cost, but they probably cost like several $100,000 to keep them up and running for like a year plus. I think Jagex will probably make more money than they give away just from like the publicity they get from this kind of stunt, like with the stream and people talking about it like us. So
That is true, yeah.
while I agree they need to put Australians up, the fact that they can spend $10,000 on something so like weird probably means they could make Australian servers, even though it costs a lot more money. But I don't think $10,000 is like a big deal to be given away.
That I They really must have a lot of extra money that like I remember reading something about like they had a record low as a profit as a company the other year.
Yeah, that's like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like 10,000 is not that much. As like Jagex is like one of the biggest companies in like $10,000 isn't that much.
I
I think if it is successful though, do you think it'll be like $10,000 will be like a small prize? Like they may have to increase the prize as this gets increasingly popular?
I don't think RuneScape is that popular of a game to where they can really push that pot to being like 20,000, 50,000, and so on. It'd be hard for me to see the game grow that much.
Yeah, definitely. So next question coming in is about the recent update we've had on, I think it was Thursday. So there's been a lot of hype around this. It's about Resizable. What do you guys think about Resizable? They plan on putting in some zoom options for the feature, which I think OS Buddy already have at the moment, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you used the zoom options? Have you used Resizable? How do you think it feels like? How do you think it manipulates the old school feel? So for me personally, I was a big fan of the OS Buddy. What did they have? They had like they could make it larger, the Resizable that they created, and I was a big fan of that. But at the moment, I'm kind of on the fence with the new Resizable. I think it's just because I'm against change and like don't like things being changed and implemented into the game that I'm not used to. But I think after a while, I'll get used to it and start to enjoy it a lot more.
I'm quite content with it. It helps with certain skills with that zoom option, I guess, as you can get the inventory a bit closer in like mining or fishing. So yeah, it's all right. It doesn't benefit myself personally because I train agility and have to move the cursor bit in a bit wider range, but I guess I'm hoping that they won't still update the interface too much after this. The old school bird is it's quite important to keep that old school feel that it had in 2007, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Acid that it does ruin the old school feel. But I'm probably not going to use it unless I do get around to doing one of those skills Acid mentioned, being benefit from it. So fishing, teaks with a box, mining, and what have you. But for the minute, I'm also content with fixed. I always use fixed on pre-EOC or RS3 or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, considering I do agility, I just like what I've got at the moment. I'm not really very responsive to change.
I really like how well received the Resizable update was. I believe that the update, though, is pretty overrated overall. I don't think
Yeah.
it's that big of an update. I'm glad that there are some people who are just in love with the update. It's I think it kind of does really ruin the old school feel. I used the zoom option and had like a transparent inventory and a transparent chat box. It was really starting to look like a completely different game to me. It's it's really not something I plan on ever using, but the feel is I'm glad that it's toggleable and we can play the way that we've always been playing.
Yeah, I've been using it off and on, just testing it, and I think it feels fine. I mean, it looks different, but the game is like the fundamentals of the game are still the same. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't mind it at all. But I think I'm only gonna use it for like Hunter and Slayer maybe or something like that.
I
Yeah,
do think
personally for me,
Sorry,
sorry
on,
man, go
guys.
ahead. Oh,
No, you.
yeah, for me, Trance just mentioned Hunter. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of that lately, and using Resizable for Hunter actually makes it like not significantly easy, but it is noticeably easier to do Hunter. It's a little less click intensive. The inventory is like slightly further away from the traps for me, but I think it's just made it a little bit easier, really.
When you're using the hunter, are you zooming in or zooming out?
I've got it on a slight zoom in. The zooming out's like way too far away.
Okay.
I do think Ash has done a really good job of it, though. Even if it is something I don't really want to use or see myself using, I think it's been done really well.
I think it
Yeah, he
has.
definitely put a lot of time and effort into it.
I think it has been done really well. For those who use OS Buddy and have seen what their attempt of a resizable was several months ago, they did that. It looked god awful. Looking at this now, I think it is. I mean, they're not even comparable how much better this resizable is compared to the attempt that OS Buddy tried. I couldn't have been the only
Alright,
one
guys,
to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. So, on to the next question we've got. Next week, Jagex plan on releasing a priority poll. So, these things, they get like feedback from us on what we think are the biggest needs in the game that need to be updated. So what do you guys think are the biggest priorities in RuneScape at the moment?
Well, I guess they should definitely deal with the technical issues because it's very embarrassing for as big a company as Jagex to have problems with DCs. And when those kind of things are in order, then I guess it's all about keeping the content in balance and not bringing any OP stuff in general.
Once again, Acid has worded it perfectly. They can't really run before they can walk, and getting the servers to a standard where, you know, we can actually use the content without a 30-minute death timer and all the mechanics they have. I don't think they should really be suggesting anything else. I was watching the Q&A from a couple of weeks ago, and I think Mod Matt K took a question like this, and he just said Slayer. So whether we'll see another Slayer update, I'm not really too sure what to expect, but Acid's point is on the money, as usual.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely got to be the biggest nuisance in the last several months. Disconnecting kind of gets really frustrating after a while. No matter what skill you're doing, you're constantly disconnecting, and you know, it's taking... These ones got pretty bad, actually. Over the last few months, they were hitting off the servers for like upwards of 15, 20 minutes sometimes, and it is pretty embarrassing for them. I would kind of like to see them work on like a new skill or develop an idea for us, but I think that's a lot further away in the future.
I'm really curious to see what they actually put on this poll. They haven't released any information as to what the options are going to be. I am just hoping that they don't include another Slayer update, another boss, as part of this poll. Because even with us getting all of these recent updates, I believe people would still vote for something like that. I hope they really stray away from PvP and PvM based updates heading into this priority poll and just don't allow stuff like that to be on the poll. I don't really know I think that they need to fix a lot of bugs that are in the game. I know that there's a bug with the marks of grace. That should be one of the biggest priorities to fix that. But there's still a lot of broken things in the game that they need to take care of. But I guess I'm more for quality of life updates than any big updates or like a new skill or a new boss. I'd just rather see a lot of quality of life updates.
Yeah, while I agree the server should be the main priority, they're not gonna put that in the poll because it's not like a developer priority. You know, like nobody's not gonna say they want something else over fixing the servers. So they're gonna put stuff like a new quest, like a mini game, or general quality of life updates, or like a skilling boss or something.
Oh, a
Those are
skilling
probably gonna be
boss.
on it.
Dick shit.
Huh?
Yeah, did you guys
Oh,
read
yeah.
the...
Suggested on
I saw that on
thingy.
Reddit.
Yeah, the skilling
10.
boss.
Sorry. It's so
It's alright,
funny.
man.
Dick shit. That's what it looked like. I lost my train of thought.
That's alright. Alright, on to the next question. So, you alright, Trance? Oh, shit. Alright, so in the game we've got the XP boosting outfits. You know, we've got Prospector, we've got Lumberjack. So there's a possible fishing trawler minigame update where we could get a fishing outfit. Now these outfits give obviously a 2.5% boost to XP. What do you guys think about them introducing a fishing outfit?
I think they should update fishing trawler to give XP. Like you know how Mudload Mines like shit it kind of will, like 75% XP a quarry, but you get that GP, so noobs will do it, and it brings a lot of ore into the game, which I think is nice. I would like fishing trawler to be like that. Whether or not they put a
Dark crabs are kind of similar to that, though. If you look at the GP that it
yeah, but you
makes,
gotta have,
then
like, the elite diary done. I wouldn't mind fishing trawler being like 30 or 40k fishing XP an hour if you did it like properly with a team. But whether or not it should give a XP boosting outfit, I'd vote no if they pulled it. But I mean, I can like cry about it if they put it in.
this was the question that I put in here because I tweeted about it, and a few people said it was a good idea. A few people said it was bad. I don't know. I think it would be a way to really bring some life to the otherwise forgotten minigame. I mean, the Artie Diary is the only reason why people even go to the fishing trawler now, just to do a game of that.
And it's fucking broken.
I don't know if we need an outfit, but if they were to come out with one, I think this would be a good way for it to be introduced through there. Maybe you catch like some kind of you catch some kind of weird fish or some kind of weird item, and you trade that guy there, and he'll give you a piece. I don't know, something like that.
I'd agree with Trance to say, well, both of you actually. I'd say it'd be a pretty good way to bring some life to otherwise dead content. Um, but you know, if the outfit did get polled, it's not something I'd throw a hissy fit about. But I'd still probably vote no to it, just because I'm not a fan of those sort of things. I mean, but I don't care enough to throw a tantrum about it. Whatever.
Yeah, with these kind of updates, it's there's good potential to wake up dead content, but I guess it should be implemented with a good taste, though, so that it wouldn't devalue existing content too much.
Basically, I'm all for it, as long as it looks nothing like the outfit that RS3 has.
The
'cause
shark?
that thing's pretty hideous. Yeah, that shark outfit, man. It's friggin' terrible. Yeah, so as long as it doesn't look anything like that, I'm all for it.
I would
reckon that'd
maybe
be a good
consider
time.
trading my Santa hat for a shark head.
No way. A shark head.
Yeah, I would do it. That'd be hilarious.
Look as absolutely ridiculous as possible.
In before you can have different types, like a hammerhead or a great white or something like that.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah. Alright, so people are finally getting banned from 0% commission staking, which is definitely good to see. I'm glad they're cracking down on that and banning the people that are doing it because it's pretty, I don't know, it's almost like a scam, really, to me. Most of the people that do it are untrustworthy and are just in it for some quick GP, really. So what do you guys think about these people getting banned?
I think that I'm glad that they're finally doing it. I remember Matt K saying something about it a while ago, and he just didn't even seem like he had a clue what he was talking about when he was discussing it on a Q&A. I'm glad that it's being addressed and being taken care of. He said something on the internet saying like he looked at 25 people who were doing it, and 23 of those 25 were doing it to scam. I know some people who partake in some stuff like that as well, and it's nice to see it finally getting done. I don't know why they didn't do it in the first place when they banned commission staking.
It's something they've said they've been against for a while, and I'm surprised it took them this long to take any action, really, but what Randy said is on point.
Yeah, I think people should get banned for it because it is scamming, and it's like people saying like doubling GP. It's like kind of the same thing. You give them your GP, and you trust that they're going to give you the money back, but you're probably not going to get it back.
Yeah, I think a big element that takes over some people is the greed aspect of it. People just want to be greedy and make a quick buck and stuff. So recently we've had 2 new mods come onto the old school team, which is really good. It's good to see. So mods Krista and Mod Day have come in. Krista is the mod that's come over from RuneScape 3, and Mod Day is an intern QA tester for the month. What do you guys think about this change or them bringing in these new employees?
Yeah, I think it's great that we're getting mods. Not much to say really. And people are criticizing them for getting the person who was on the monetization team or whatever. But I mean, they gotta come from somewhere, and she probably didn't want to be on there. She probably wanted to be on old school. If probably gave her the option to stay. I'm sure there's a lot of people in RC who would love to work for old school. So I mean,
I really like Day so far. Her Twitter game is so strong, man. She's been tweeting with a lot of confidence and a lot of swagger, and I really like it a lot. Um, I tweeted that I was a little bit scared of Krista coming over from the RS3 monetization team. A little bit of me just has to believe that part of her new role will be getting a little bit, squeezing a little bit more microtransactions into the game. I mean, her specialty is working in the monetization team, so I think they'll find a way for her to do stuff like that. But I am really looking forward to see what my day looks like. Was very disappointed on Thursday when the QA got or Q&A disconnected. But
Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, but I thought it was really interesting that she was hired for the job. I know of a friend of mine who interviewed for the position. He was interviewed twice for it, and he thought it all went real well. And I mean, he plays RuneScape, has over 1K EHP, so he's really familiar with the game. And from what we've seen based on the tweets by Day, she played it like 10 years ago or so, and um, just recently picked it up late last year. To me, it sounds like she has minimal to no RuneScape experience, and I think that is the biggest thing in hiring a QA tester, especially one that's only going to be here for 3 months. I believe that she's still going to be learning the game by the time that her internship for the summer is over.
It's always cool for the old school team to grow and for mods to gain assistance in their aspects of the game, but it does leave about the question that is the quality of their assistance. You got Krisha, who was, we talked about her in Day, who has little to no knowledge of the game, or so we speculate. So that leaves the question about of the quality of the assistance the other mods, the current mods are going to be getting from these. But I'm really happy to see Alfie's coming back as well. I really liked Alfie.
Oh yeah, he's a real great guy.
Yeah, more mods are always welcome, and yeah, as long as they're competent, I guess it's just in the favor of old school to get more mods.
What do you think, Case?
Yeah. So you made a good point, Randy, about one that I didn't actually know was that Krista was from the monetization team from RS3. I didn't actually know that. So I'm all for the changes as long as they don't try to implement microtransactions into the game, because that's probably like one of the biggest things that would make me contemplate quitting the game.
I mean, the next step could be something like pay use a bond and get to change your name. Use a bond and get a cosmetic outfit. I think things like that could potentially like once that stuff starts up, it could really potentially start a snowball effect that none of us want to see happen.
I think people will put their feet down when they start bringing in cosmetic items.
You think so?
Bonds.
I mean,
I think the line is membership and changing names for people in old school. Like, I don't think people would put up with cosmetic outfits, real money.
Yeah, I think it'd be a very small minority that would want stuff like that in the game. Most of us are pretty happy with what we've got at the moment. The only cosmetic item I want to see come into the game now is a max cape, so get on that.
for those in
And
the
200 mil capes, of course.
Yeah, of course.
for those in the chat who are saying you can already change your name with the bind, you can, but you cannot do that in old school. You would have to like transfer money over to do that. I'm saying directly through old school. But
Alright, so Modash has just announced a potential nerf to the Zulrah drop table, and I think the Wyvern drop table as well. They were contemplating nerfing that as well. What impact do you think that this will have on the game?
I don't know how serious the tweet was. I think he was just he was speaking hypothetically, but I think his idea was to remove a lot of the OP drops. Well, not OP drops, just like random stuff like battle stabs and stuff like that, or maybe, and put more scales on the drop because we use scales
Scales
very
have
frequently
really
for the
gone up a
servers I
lot
know.
as well.
Yeah. So I think his idea was it might not change the GP per hour that much, but it'll take away a lot of the inflation on items such as planks and uh battle stabs, I guess. Um, so if they do that, then obviously those items would go up in price a bit. Those
Yeah,
would go down.
definitely. I hope that they do nerf the Zoro drop table, actually. I think it's too OP, really. You make quite a lot of money for like nearly very little effort. I've done a little bit of it recently myself, and it's actually really quite easy to learn and get really good at. And once you've got it down, you can make a lot of GP an hour. I think if they do decide to nerf the drop table, they should at least put a risk in with that as well. I think you need to pay like a small fee, like 100, 200k to get your items back. That way, it puts a little bit of risk into the game and a little bit of a gold sink as well.
Yeah, that was my idea from like day
Yeah,
one.
it was so good. They definitely
They
needed
pulled
it.
it too, didn't they?
That was
Yeah, they
such
did,
a
but it
pulled
obviously
it.
failed.
such a
Like,
dumb
don't want us to
mistake.
take money
to
away from
poll.
you.
Do
That's
you want us to increase the taxes on your
Yeah.
Alright.
Rick, got any thoughts?
No, it's all been said. I guess for the Wyverns, it's a good thing that Wyvern alts have made the transfer to RC alts. If you care about that. Besides that,
Didn't they
Yeah.
in the post of the June, the month ahead, didn't they talk about looking into nerfing them? One of the There's one of the like month ahead posts that they had recently where they talked about
Yeah, I think I remember that.
potentially nerfing Zora and Wyverns.
Wyverns are really being talked about a lot more now than what they were when they were significantly better. I find it
yeah, I noticed that as well.
I find it pretty funny, like people are complaining about Wyverns being non-click intensive and good GP per hour. Well, back when the update first happened, you were making over 800k an hour, not including a chance at a Visage. So, and that was when you were all alone. Now it's like 500k an hour, and you're gonna be camping a single spawn, sometimes two. It's pretty late for a nerf, in my opinion. No, 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 no. I don't mean that. Never mind. Yeah, that's what it was starting to sound like.
I thought you were
Yeah,
going
that
there.
was it was starting to start like that, man.
Fucking wasted it.
All right, so what skill do you think needs the biggest update to it? And if you don't think a certain skill needs an update, would you like to see a new skill, and what kind of new skill would you like to see?
Personally, I'm kind of resistant to change, and it's hard to name any skill that needs change, but perhaps it would be interesting to see change in all the skills that are generally trained as viables. Perhaps it would be interesting if there was some sort of new ways to train them, like something that didn't involve money, like perhaps something that involved logics, or I think something of an intelligent content would be very interesting to see in the game.
Yeah, same. I don't really like the idea of change. They've proposed the ads thing, I guess as an update to fire making, which people would always argue was the skill that needed an update the most. But I'm not really too fussed. Not overly keen to see a new skill or anything, but whatever.
People always say fire making or construction to update, but I don't. What could they possibly do to either of those besides bonfires, which wouldn't pass? Well, actually, bonfires might pass, but I don't think they want to do bonfires. Like construction, like possibly do.
I think there's a lot that they could do with construction into like adding new runes and just adding a whole bunch of other things like that to kind of like really personalize it a lot more. I think there is a
Yeah,
lot.
that was my idea.
There's a lot more that they could do with construction. I agree that there's not really much people can do with fire making, but there definitely is a whole lot of potential that they could do with construction. Like, I know a lot of people want like to add like a desert treasure altar or like a lunar altar to be able to like switch their spell books.
Damn. You
Man,
took my idea, god damn it.
so I know
That's
there's
what
a
I was
lot
gonna
of people
say.
talking about that.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
there's really just a whole lot that they could do with construction. I remember they back in the day they had this thing on like construction shortcuts where like
Oh yeah.
like you build a bridge to get over this river and you can do that like I, there's a whole lot they can do with construction and not just limiting it to just being in the home.
Yeah, construction's
Talked
that
out
skill for
turn,
most
he
of
took
us.
his idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
But
terrible, aren't I?
that ages ago.
That was my idea. I'm like, oh, it's such a good idea. That should definitely be an update. But yeah, my opinion's pretty biased. Like, I would like to see a new skill. I'd like to see dungeoneering implemented, but I don't think I'd want it as a skill, more as a mini game. Like a team-based skill would be awesome to see in old school.
Oh, fuck
I
off.
enjoyed dungeoneering a lot. Man, team-based skills was so fun if you had a good team.
I think it wasn't polled, but didn't John C have like a idea to do the ancient and lunar altars in your house?
Yeah, he did, and mahogany planks shot up like 120 each. But there hasn't been
Yeah,
really
that's where I think I remember getting it from.
there hasn't been any word on it since. I from what I saw, it was pretty well received, so I don't really know why they haven't mentioned it again.
Yeah. So on to the next question we have here. It's talking about OS Buddy mouse keys. I don't know which mod has said this, but apparently a tweet was sent out that the OS Buddy mouse keys, specifically the 5 and 2, are legal, meaning that 1 to 2 is legal. Can anybody else elaborate on this for me?
All right, I'm unaware of this tweet, but the only tweet I think that is relevant and should be looked at is a while ago Ronin tweeted that they'll simply never say auto hotkeys are allowed just because of how far one can take them. Now, there is also no rule for 1 to 2 or 1 to 1. It's just a guideline that many people abide by. So, also, I wouldn't really take most mods' word for what the exact rules are because, I mean, looking at people like Infinity, some of them just don't know what they're
Fucking
talking
joke.
about anyway. So, but the mouse keys do indeed they're 1 to 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see this tweet, but the without OS Buddy mouse keys, the 1 and 2 doesn't work in old school because it doesn't. I don't know why, but just the way the game is coded, it won't pick up both actions. It'll just do one click. But on RS3 and in any other or most other interfaces, it will double click. And so when OS Buddy did their mouse keys, they made it double click in old school. Fine, because you can do that in RS3, and RS3 allows mouse keys. So yeah, it is 1 to 2, but since mouse keys are allowed, then it's fine. 1 to 1's not a rule.
Generally about auto hotkeys, well, I'm in favor of one-on-one use of them as I used mouse keys for mining myself, but in general I wouldn't support people to use anything that's over one-on-one. I don't want to tell people what to do, but in general I think using mouse keys one-on-one is pretty ancillary, at least it has been for me, because it has always been about the mental effort that you put into this game rather than all these technical details. Even though mouse keys can improve the mental like competence in a bit, but I don't know. Generally, I don't want to tell people what to do.
Yeah, I agree with Acid. I think the use of mouse keys and auto hotkeys waters down skilling to a point where there is literally no reason to use 1 to 3 if you want to get any sort of achievement out of the game. It's really silly to consider using it. If you want to be lazy, go for it. But I think what Randy said is true. There is no rules for AHK. It's just a guideline that we've set for ourselves, I guess. And I definitely wouldn't trust any JMods who try to address the problem, or if it's a problem or whatever the issue, because all of the opinions are just so diverse. You've got Infinity saying you will get permanently banned if you use it once, and you've...
Yeah, definitely some controversial opinions there on AHK, but I'm all for using AHK as long as you use like the guideline 1-to-1, really. Alright, so, the next question. So, what are your guys' opinions on Mod Ronin's Crocs?
I commend Mod Ronin for wearing Crocs. Dude's got balls, you know. He loves wearing Crocs. He thinks they're comfortable, and you know he's got the balls to wear them on stream. I commend him, man. I really respect him for that.
I'm going to avoid getting myself in trouble and agree with Trance.
Personally, I think they're ugly shoes, but I mean, more power to him for wearing them. Like, you know, don't give a fuck what anyone says, man. Doesn't care what anyone thinks of him or their opinions of him. So good on him.
Yeah, let the man wear whatever he wants.
Those shoes, man. Those shoes are so fucking ugly. But I'm glad he likes them, and I'm glad he wears them with confidence. It's not something I could pull off or something I would ever dare to do. I don't even know what Crocs feel like. I just know that people think they're shoes that you can...
So you never even worn them. And you're judging this man's life.
I said that they look bad. I said that they look bad. I said that they look bad, not that they're bad shoes. I just think they look bad. You can call a shoe ugly and never wear it. It could be a pair of Jordans. I could say I don't like it. But
can anyone remember what color they were?
They were like taxi colored.
Yalla.
Oh, no way. Taxi colored yellow. Alright, so for this next question, I'm going to post the screenshot in the chat for everyone to have a look at. So basically, this is a proposed change to the login screen, where they're going to... Well, they've proposed that they can add some more information about previous updates and, you know, what time these updates occurred and things like that. Personally, I think this is a pretty good update. It looks really neat, like fits in with the game login screen, and it'd be good to see it just be like make things easier rather than having to go to the homepage all the time to see previous updates and you know what's coming for the future.
Yeah, it was definitely a quality of life update that should be implemented. Increases the visibility of the new updates quite neatly.
Yeah, I mean, you guys would be surprised at how few people are actually up to date and keeping up with every single update that's happening and what's going on in the game. Not a lot of people really look at the homepage and do that, so I really liked how this looks, and I think there's a whole lot more that they could do to the login screen. I don't really think there's anything they could do to ruin the old school feel of logging in, but I like this, and I like the potential that they could continue to do to it.
Whatever, really. I'm on the fence again. Reluctant to change, but I mean, what? It's not that big of a deal. If they want to do it, do it. And if enough people want it, then I guess I'll live with it. It doesn't look that bad, I guess. But it's
I
not
think
too
it's
difficult
great.
to just check the homepage.
I think it's great, but I think at this point, if they're doing this, and if they have quick op, they should just do a lobby.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Be better.
I agree. Case.
Alright, so do you guys ever focus on efficiency too much to the point where you don't like or you don't explore any content in the game that is considered XP waste? For example, you've got, Slayer tasks, bossing, PKing, things like that. So do you ever just focus on skilling and efficiency too much where you don't explore other areas of the game?
I think absolutely. Several months ago, I I finished up all the quests besides Darkness of Hallowvale, and I did some of the other mini games and stuff to like get some diary recs done. I've only done like 2 of the diaries, but as I was doing them and doing the quests, it was a really different gameplay experience for me, and I mean it really was different, and I enjoyed it. I think I don't know. I mean, I just kept thinking of like, oh, the XP, but I thought overall it was a really different experience. And one day I hope to maybe like make an account to PK on or do stuff like that. But I don't really think I focus on anything too much. Just as long as I'm focused on having fun, that's all that matters to me.
In general, it might seem that way, but I really hate PKing and PVM in RuneScape. Like, especially PKing. It's not. I don't think it's a very competitive PKing, friendly game. Uh,
Oh shit, acid your mic.
yep. So yeah. I mean, maybe for Slayer, like, I don't do like shitty tasks. That could be fun. Like Krakens could be fun to do, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I guess everything does come down to the question as to whether it would be efficient to do. Not exactly difficult to maintain the HP rate at the RD roofs, and well, currently the only thing that drags me away from them is farm runs. But yeah, I used to PK and boss, but I kind of got bored of it. There's only so much you can do.
Well, for me, this whole efficiency culture is a relatively new thing. I kind of discovered it only like 2 years ago or so, and before that, I played a lot more casually than I do nowadays, and explored enough, and to the point that I don't need to do that now. The efficiency culture gives me now the kicks.
I don't think that limiting yourself to skilling and playing efficiently really hinders your game experience. Because a lot of people, obviously we all enjoy doing what we do, and we may focus too much on efficiency, but I don't think it really
Yeah,
matters.
there's always possibility that somebody takes the game too seriously, and that can only result in drama.
Yeah, I just think for us, it's a mindset we're in where like we enjoy doing what we do and we enjoy, skilling and gaining XP, and that's how we want to spend our time. But like also if we were to go away and do like PVM, for example, in our minds it's basically like, oh, in the time that I'm doing this, I could have X amount of XP. And that's kind of just how our mindset is really, and what we enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's basically what it is for us. So what are your guys' opinions on Cerberus' Slayer requirement being dropped down to 91? It got changed from 95 to 91, but they considered even changing it as low as 84. What do you guys think?
I like that there's some requirement on it. I didn't like originally when there wasn't one on it. if they do change it to, they might have even changed it to 84 to be honest, but I like that there's some Slayer rec on it given all the overpowered rewards that they have on the boss.
Yeah, personally, I think that 91 is a little too low. I think 95 was perfect for where it was at. They should have kept it at 95 because, in my opinion, 91 is just a little too easy to obtain. Like level 91 is just below the halfway mark to 99, so I think having it at that elite requirement of 95 would really be a good goal to set for some people.
Well, the 91 is definitely better than the 84 they initially proposed, but I would always push for it to be higher. I know Gareth
Oh,
wanted...
don't call him Gareth like you know him.
I know Gareth wanted it to be as low as possible so everyone could try out the new content, but personally with something that's dropping the stuff that Cerberus dropped, it's a bit silly to have it at a low requirement. I mean, it does this... Is this something that drops the boot add-on?
Yeah, and the Inferno ads add-on.
So to have proposed best in slot boots at 84 when the previous best in slot boots were at 83, it's just a bit silly. So 91 is good, but 95 would have been better.
I don't think it should have any Slayer requirement because Hellhounds don't have a Slayer requirement. But I do think they should have put the Infernal Ads item on the Abbey Demon boss. I don't think that boss should have 4 unique drops.
Yeah, 4's definitely too many, for sure.
Well,
So along with this Slayer update as well... Sorry, man, go ahead.
nah, go take it.
No worries, cool. So along with the new Slayer update, they're also bringing out the Abyssal Demon boss, and with that is coming the Abyssal Warhammer, which is going to be the best in-slot crush DPS in the game. So what are your thoughts about this new weapon and the new Abyssal Demon boss?
I know that last podcast when we broke down the dev blog, I said that I really didn't like the drops that the Abyssal Demon boss had because it was really just not really dropping anything sexy aside from the dagger. So I think adding in this weapon is kind of nice. I don't really know what it would be used for though. It's
Water Fiends.
who the fuck is gonna kill a water fiend?
Orb go. Well, if they change the Slayer assignment rates, people will get them.
Well, is this Abyssal Warhammer going to act anything like the Status Warhammer? If so, then it could be used for co-op.
It's going to have the same special attack as the Abyssal Dagger, that bleed effect.
It just feels as if it's straying from its initial identity.
Any significant applications for it right now, but I mean, a better DPS crush weapon will definitely have a lot of uses in the future. I mean, if they ever release a monster that's weak to crush, like there you go. Maybe one of the new bosses is weak to crush, and it'd be good on that.
Shit, they should just make the Hellhound boss weak to crush or the Abyssal Demon boss weak to crush.
That would give it a shit ton of use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and maybe if that bleed, I mean, max hit is gonna be pretty high. The bleed effect scales with how high you hit, right? So, I mean, that could be really good for PvP. I don't know. You hit like a 50 and then you bleed for another 50, right? Over time.
I think
you hit a 50 and then over the next 5 seconds you take another 50.
Over 6 seconds.
That could be crazy.
I can't really imagine it hitting that high.
It's the same. It was same. The whip. Oh yeah. So you hit like 40, 41. So
It'll definitely change PvP, like the element of PvP and the dynamics that they have.
Staking as well. Imagine staking.
But
Oh,
it uses
yeah.
50% spec, doesn't it?
I don't know.
wonder if the
This
bleed
weapon is
stack,
two-handed.
Hit 40, then hit 40 again, and then.
This weapon's two-handed. The dagger is one-handed, so that's worth noting.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
But the two-hander it hits as fast as the whip, though.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
pretty much
weird.
like a Sarah sword.
But a lot better. Alright, so this question comes in from Rihanna. Now, imagine you were given absolute control over the old school dev team for a day. What would you get them to do, and what would you tell them to do for any future updates or content?
Fire Ronin, fire Archie, fire Matt K, hire some competent people, and put my feet up for the rest of the day.
Sounds like an easy day.
Tell them to add a 5-minute timer and to hire Cap King.
Tell him to fix Marks of Grace.
Oh shit, no, that's mine!
How did you forget that?
No! I was distracted by the captain.
Now they're never gonna... Okay, in your defense, Cap King would definitely fix it.
Of course he would.
Well, I would just generally tell them to find balance between the updates and delete all the OP stuff that possibly exists in the game. But yeah, Marks of Grace is a sacred issue, and that not be touched.
Definitely. I'd remove obviously Nightmare Zone Guthans and splashing and stuff like that, and then I'd probably steal Mod Ronin's Crocs from him just to keep as like a little icon, a little souvenir. Deprive him of his Crocs. Alright, so I don't know about you guys, but I check CML, or people's CMLs quite a lot. A little bit of a stalker. I like seeing people's gains, seeing what they're doing. How many times per day do you guys check other people's CML?
I have not been looking on it as much over the last month as I have been playing a lot less. The more I play, the more I look, really. I just haven't been too motivated to go on to CML and see like these 30-hour weeks, 35 hours and stuff. Haven't been looking too much, but the more I play, the more I look. In both on my games and other people's.
Unless I'm doing a competition or doing a record, I hardly ever look at it. I'm trying to like find like something specific, like looking at the HP rate or something, just for curiosity's sake. But
from time to time, I guess. Only really check mine though, and maybe some of the people around me in EHP rank, but from that, maybe twice a day or something.
Probably
Before I
only
wake
when
up and before I go to bed.
Okay. Personally, only if I know that somebody has made some nice achievement, or I've heard that they've come back to the game or something, then I might check them out. But generally, I just like to focus on my own XPs, and usually I don't even check my own CML.
Alright, so it seems lately that Jagex have started like using social media a lot more for their platform of communication, and it seems that they're prioritizing Twitter over forums and homepage appeals. What do you guys think about this?
I saw that Jagex support Twitter is hiring volunteers to start working, and I think it's a fatally flawed system. They need
wait, what?
There are volunteers helping out with the Jagex support Twitter. I saw some kind of tweet about it.
Like P-mods?
I don't know exactly what the criteria is. I just know what I read. But I think it's a disgusting, and they need to focus a lot more on the website.
Yeah, I think it's been a flawed system. It's something that went against the game's initial identity. They were very strict with how you got in contact with them, and now they just, throw everything about on social media where it's easy to both impersonate and it's easy to impersonate and what have you. I mean, Trance got hacked thanks to the system, which is pretty silly. And it's not something I like, and the fact that they're prioritizing Twitter over the forum appeals is pretty appalling. I don't think the Twitter appeals should be a thing in the first place, because it's caused nothing but trouble, really. It's been a bit of a problem child ever since it came about.
I think it's really dumb how Twitter is the fastest way to get in touch with Jagex. Like, you can kinda get in touch with them on the website, but it's like not as user friendly, and it's not going to be as quick, and it's honestly it's not even going to be as formal because they have like the default responses, and they should just have better ticket system on their website, and where you can like live chat with the JMod or back and forth every few minutes, something like that.
Well, I think the whole old school game started from an external source, which is quite interesting. But in general, I think it's a bit odd that they have prioritized Twitter over their own website. It's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, definitely think it shouldn't be. That's how they do things, though. Nothing, as Trick said, nothing but bad things has kind of come from that, really. So within RuneScape, obviously, everybody plays the same, or plays differently, I should say. And, everyone has different ways of enjoying the gameplay. Within RuneScape, what do you guys think is just an unwritten rule that everyone should obey?
A little maturity wouldn't hurt, but I think as a escaper is free to do what he or she wants as long as it doesn't restrict the same right from others. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you as well, Acid. People just play how they want to play, but as long as they're respectful and mature, I think that's good. I had one for pre-GE. I think an unwritten rule was My World Edge. That was definitely just a unspoken rule along the high-level community. That's just how it was, and that's just how it happened.
For me, I think an unwritten rule is if you're doing any kind of bossing or slayer, if someone else is there, hop to a different world. Even for skilling, it just really annoys me. Just hop if someone's there, man.
Yeah, definitely. Just show some respect. It's not that hard, hey? Alright, so have you guys ever been burnt out? Not really feeling motivated to play the game. You don't want to log on. But if you have, what motivated you to come back and play?
Usually I have set my goals so that I wouldn't get burned out, and so far I have been successful. Of course, I've had days when I've been not motivated, but I've just tried to push on and hope that I will have better days in the future. That's just my mindset. And I try to avoid burning out in general by having certain routines, but still not taking the game too seriously. I think if you take the game too seriously, it just becomes more than
Yeah.
I don't know. You just don't enjoy it as much.
You're on point.
Been burnt too badly, like when I got hacked, which is like also right after when I finished my runecrafting month, so there's sort of like a post-achievement burn and the lack of motivation getting hacked. I wasn't too burnt. I think I did like 2 weeks of just like 5-stick fishing. And then diaries came out, and that was kind of motivating because I had to do a lot of preparation for that, like get the Calphi Queen head, and then I was the first to get the diary cape. Kind of fun, and then started thieving, which was really fun. I really enjoyed thieving heroes. Like not even joking, it was really fun. That was some motivation. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was just fun.
Do you reckon it would be a viable method if they lowered the XP an hour? Would you do it?
I mean, if it was better than PP, yeah, why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah. For me, I've never really been burnt out. I can't remember a time where I didn't really feel motivated to play. I was very motivated going for max, and I think just setting goals and keeping that mindset is how you stay motivated and kind of prevent that burnout from happening.
Personally, never been burnt out because I always try and stick to a goal that is realistic and it's something I enjoy. So I have no real reason to want to stop playing. I'm sure there will be times in the past where I've come close to burning out, but Not that I can recall. Not many significant ones that I can recall that made me, not play the game for a couple of days or whatever. I've been actively logging in for the duration of the game, so I've not really ever come close to burning out. I don't really think.
For me, when I have been in the closest edge of getting burned out has, of course, when I've had a tough time at school and studying in general. So just getting those things done and prioritizing helps a lot.
I don't really know if I would consider myself back in like 2008, 2009 when my account was hacked and banned. I and then I quit for 4 or 5 years. I wouldn't really consider that burning out, but when I was getting really close to maxing, I felt like I was kind of, I wouldn't say burning out, but I was playing a lot less like my month and a half prior to maxing. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like I was enjoying myself because I just kept forcing myself to do skills that I didn't like. Uh, that skill was mining, so it wasn't fun.
All right, so as high level skillers in the community, obviously when we're like naturally competitive, would you guys ever be for a clan versus clan EHP competition? For example, like a 5 versus 5 versus Solace or Vision or something like that.
Does Vision have 5 members?
Yeah, they don't have 5 members.
Rip Vision.
Yeah, I'd be down for that if we could find
Rude.
5 people who I don't know if we would have like a 5 team that would do 100 hours plus.
That American team
Like a
from
3v3
January
would
was
be
pretty
better.
nice.
That American team from January was spot on, but one of those people isn't in the clan anymore, and another one doesn't play anymore.
Rip Qatar just died.
Well, he wasn't on the American
Okay.
team, but he did mess around and get 130 hours.
Oh, was he a Smiley?
Yeah.
He never played after that.
Oh, yeah, it was more.
Dude, he did 100.
Yeah.
He did more EHP in that month than he's probably done in the last like 3 months. He destroyed himself mentally during that competition. Um, I don't really, I don't really know how a comp against another clan would go. I think it would be a lot of fun and be very competitive. It wouldn't be something I'd want to do if we couldn't put forth an A plus effort, though. I don't want to put like a B team out. I don't
That's what I'm saying.
like. I wouldn't be for doing it, putting out a B team that'll have a couple
I
guys.
wasn't confident.
Yeah, have a couple guys who do like 80 hours or something. Now, doing something like 80 hours is a lot, but I feel like for the sake of a competition against another clan, that's just not gonna cut it. Like everyone should want to do 110 plus. So I don't know if we would ever be able to get 5 guys who would have an opportunity like that. But that American team from January, where sorry, Acid, we beat the Finland's EHP. We had like a 5-man average. Like once you scale down the EHP, we had a 5-man average of like 120 EHP. That would be a team that I would love to move forward with if we
Yeah.
could get the same production out of them. But any less, I wouldn't really like to do something. And I'd want both.
A lot of memories coming back once you mentioned Team Finland.
I'd want both
Rip and
Hexis and the other clan to be able to field out people who are really putting up hella hours.
Yeah, I think something like a 100-hour minimum would sort of be the lowest possible that we'd see in a competition like that. We're all kind of naturally competitive people, and we all want to, as you said, do our best. So I think we'd see some pretty insane hourly weeks, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so have you guys ever been scammed in RuneScape? If you have, explain how, what happened, those kind of things.
Ooh.
Not for a long time. Can't really think of any time I have been scammed. Possibly when I was a very young in like 2004 or 2005. Maybe something regular, like somebody scamming me some Rune 2-handers or things like that.
One time I got like scammed was when someone ripped like a couple hundred K from me by declining the trade and putting it back up or whatever. Like, I don't know. They put up 1.9 mil and then declined and put up 1.119 mil or whatever. Not that big deal. 100K.
Yeah, so
Wasn't
the
that
story
mad
of
about
how I got scammed is quite a tragic story, and it's actually one that is an ongoing story.
Yes!
There's a certain JMod, won't say his name, he knows who he is, but he's, according to my calculator, currently scammed me out of about 3k Marks of Grace. You know, it's not too big of a deal, it's just that it keeps piling up, and you know, the amount of money I keep getting scammed just keeps going up and up and up the more I run around these roofs. And, you know, it really cuts, man. You know, until you've experienced being scammed in such a manner, you really can't relate.
Have you reported this person?
That
That is a serious scam. That they're continuing to scam.
Yep.
How much is that in GP, roughly?
I don't even know. Fucking John Deere's have ruined the price Marmalade anyway.
Alright.
But, one of his accomplices also
coming.
suggested I submit a bug report. I've never done that before. Definitely never done that before. But yeah, pretty tragic.
Have a moment of silence.
Yes, please.
Rip Marks of Grace. Alright, so we all know Trance is the king of Twitter. It's got some good Twitter burns, good jokes. What are your guys' thoughts on Trance's joke that he tweeted out to Bodhi, receiving very little attention or feedback?
Can you link the tweet?
I can't link it, but I can try to find it real quick. It said, if gingers don't have souls, why are they afraid of dementors? I thought it was a pretty reasonable question.
I don't get it.
It's a good question. It's from Harry Potter. Because Ron Weasley is a ginger, and yeah, have you ever seen Harry Potter?
Terrified of dementiors.
Nah, I've never seen Harry Potter before.
Oh. Alright, so we've got a lot of new updates that are coming out within the future, a lot of exciting content to bring out. More specifically, the Slayer expansion updates. What do you guys think about these, and what would you like to see? What do you like about them? What do you dislike about them? So personally for me, I'm all for Slayer updates, but I think they're doing too many of them. I think after this one, they kind of need to.
We've been saying this for a while, though, is that they've been doing too much and they need to slow down, but there hasn't been any slowdown in sight.
I'm pretty excited for like what Zaya has to offer, and I hope they do a really good job of that. But yeah, I think they should just after this kind of just slow it down a bit, because the XP rates are getting too high, and they're focusing a lot on Slayer content rather than other things in the game.
Yeah, I think one thing that they need to do to the Slayers is to add in a lot more. I've seen some people on Twitter, don't know who they are, complaining that things like Bloodvelds and Hellhounds are very crowded and that there need to be a lot more of them. And I think that there really should be a lot more monster spawns. I mean, there's way too many people with like a Dragon Long killing Bloodvelds in Neve's Cave, you know, is maybe just make it like a high-tiered area of Slayer monsters, but make them hard to get to as well.
Go off that, when we were talking about where they'd put Cerberus, when we're talking about where they'd put the extra black demons, because they were going to put more black demons in Neve's Cave, and they're going to put more blue dragons and iron dragons, all this crap in Neve's Cave. My idea was to, you know how they have the dungeoneering,
resource
cave thing, the resource areas where you go in with if you have dungeoneering level, they should do that, but you pay Slayer points
Would it be a
access
one-off
this new
payment
area.
or
Huh?
would it be a one-off payment or continuous?
One-off. Well, I don't know. They could do a one-off payment, or you could just pay like 20 to get in. But like they'd have like a little door at the Black Demons, and you pay Slayer points to go in.
Yeah. Good
You
idea.
have the spot to yourself. They could do that, everywhere.
Make a expansion onto the cave and use a construction shortcut to get to that area.
One of the
Boom.
perks of the resource dungeons in RS3 was that they were all multi-combat areas, allowing you to hit multiple targets with your
Well, I don't
cannon.
know
So
if they
imagine
should make
multi-combat.
Black Demons multi-combat.
If they made Black Demons
ridiculous.
multi-combat, oh my god.
Or Bloodveld or any Slayer monster these people are complaining about, it'd be pretty awesome. Why no one trains Slayer?
Alright, so next question for us. Obviously, the game needs new content to thrive, and it's what keeps the game alive and keeps it, fun and active. I really like this question. It's, what is our opinion on some level 99 armor or equipment? So obviously it wouldn't be OP, it needed to be balanced. So for example, for the melee armor, the 99 armor would be slightly better than rune armor, but it would cost a lot more to purchase, so maybe around 1 mil for a set. And for ranging, there'd be slightly better armor than Black D-Hide, but it would also cost a lot, and also the same for mage armor. What do you guys think about some level 99 armor?
I think that getting some more level 99 content in the game is nice, but I don't know if looking at the armor and equipment, I don't know if that's the direction that I'd like to see it go in. I don't really like the idea of level 99 armor.
Yeah, I actually like this idea. I wouldn't want it too recently. I think for a future update, like around the time that the Zaya continent gets released, would be a good idea. Obviously, I'd want it to be balanced, but I think maybe having it dropped by a boss would be a good idea, or maybe even having like a level 99 crafting requirement to make those armors. But I wouldn't want to go in the direction that like Torva went and all the next armors. I reckon that's definitely just far too much for old school.
I think releasing armor that are like, I think going from Black D-Hide requiring 70 to the next thing requiring 99 is way too big of a jump. Like,
Yeah.
They should do it a lot more slowly. They should do, 75 range armor. And a year later, maybe do 80 range armor, like that. Just slow progression. If you jump up too high, that really ruins things. And if it's not that OP, if you release something that requires 99, there's nowhere to go from there.
Acid?
I have nothing to add. I don't really think that it would bring too much new to the game. I think it has already plenty of armor. But who am I to
Yeah,
say?
I think everything's alright as it is. I agree with Trance saying that to go from 70 to 9 is a huge jump, and even for Slayer it's 65 for Bandos to jump to 99 is silly, really, and again, walking before they can run should at least fill the level gap between the levels 65 to 80 with relevant armor. But I do like the idea of this sort of self-production, like they have with ports on RS3, where you have to get the stuff yourself, which is a time-based event, and make the army yourself and get the recipes yourself from ports. It's something that's kind of cool and it's balanced, I guess.
Sounds like it would destroy the price of bandos and other God Wars things.
Well, you take into consideration how long it takes to get them. It probably wouldn't even be efficient if your goal was 200 mil Slayer. If you watched Jebrin's video with Drum Gun, he's still hunting the last parts of the recipes for his Tetsu and all that stuff from ports. And he's been 5.2 bill for a while.
So adding some updates that aren't worth doing.
Well, they might be depending on what perspective you look at it from. We'd look at it from whether it be efficient to use while slaying, but people, like a friend, just want the best gear for PVMing and PKing and whatever else.
All right. So lately, there've been quite a few charity streams that RuneScapers have been doing. I know Mammal just recently finished one of his 24-hour streams, and Paul recently did one, and SkillSpecs also recently did one. So what do you guys think about these streams and your potential support for these streams? So for me, basically, I reckon it's really good that these guys are out there doing this, putting themselves out there and raising money for charity. You know, it's a good thing that they do, and that they provide good content at the same time. I watched a little bit of Mammals in the last few hours, the last 3 or so hours of his stream, and some of the things he was doing, like he dyed his hair pink, and he wore a banana suit for roughly 9 hours of the stream. I reckon that's just funny and entertaining, and it's all for a good cause, so why not?
Yeah, I don't really watch that many RuneScape streams, but for a good cause, and I have absolutely nothing against it. It's good publicity too. I mean, those streams get a lot of viewers from what I've seen. Like 24-hour streams in general get a lot of viewers at the end. People get hyped for all the stuff they do, like dyeing their hair, like you said.
Yeah, community events like these are always welcome, and they have my full support if it's a charity event.
Yeah, definitely my fedora to those going the extra mile to raise awareness for a cause and
Your mic's lagging like a
benefiting
bitch.
from it themselves.
Yeah,
I'd say restart.
lagging hard.
Through publicity about this time.
Yep, you're dead. Alright, I'll just...
Yeah, you're going. All right.
Well, so
Yeah,
I
ready?
think that first, I think that charity streams are really good. That's the kind of publicity that RuneScape really wants. It really gives the community a good image, and I'm all in favor of people who do community streams. Or I'm sorry, charity. There we go.
Yeah, they're definitely good for the community as a whole, really. So, firstly, Acid, welcome back to RuneScape, mate. It's good to see you back
First.
playing and grinding again. Yeah. So, this viewer wanted you to talk about your love for mining, what you did during your time in the army and your time from RuneScape. Just take us through the process of getting 200 mil, what it was like, your feelings when you got 200 mil, things like that.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be back. Mining, it surely has something profound about it that I like it, and I find it somehow intuitively relaxing. But I've always liked it as a skill ever since I started to play the game. No particular reason for it, and I guess this was a nice foundation to start trying to grind the skill efficiently and get better at it. But generally, it was an acquired taste for me. I grinded it for like 20 mil experience at first. Then I thought, should I go for 200 mil? Then I saw that actually nobody's going for 200 mil, and I saw the opportunity, and then I took it. And along the way, I really learned to enjoy this game in a very extraordinary way. I found that this game is actually a very good place for meditation and things like that. You can just listen to great music and enjoy the flow, and simply amazing. And getting the 200 mil was also nice. Things, all that, those great people who I had met during that experience were there and had given me support along the way. It was a very nice experience. And after 200 mil, I had no idea to do what in RS, and in general, I didn't even have time to do anything because I had to go to the Finnish army, and I was kind of looking forward to going to army, but I've kind of been wondering recently, what could I have done in that time? Could I have got motivation to go for 200 mil agility straight ahead, or would I have to take a break and focus on something else? I don't know, but 200 mil mining, it's done. Army, it's done. Now it's time to get 200 mil agility. Looking
Is
forward
it
to
true that? Sorry, is it true that the Finnish army like forces sleep deprivation on you? I heard that from someone else.
Do you mean if is it mandatory or?
Yeah, like isn't that part of the training, like sleep deprivation, or am I wrong?
Uh, yeah, it's you're right. It's mandatory for pretty much everyone, but you can get around it in few ways. You could go to the prison, or you could go to a civil service.
I remember Lullidor saying that when he was in the army, they made him stay up for like 3 days straight at times, just to
Yeah, he
sleep.
was hallucinating.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Like, did the discipline from mining carry over, or he did army before mining? Would that have had
It's
an
all
effect?
about Sisu.
Yes, absolutely. I think Lelador was in the military police, but he probably had even more discipline than I did. But
Also, Acid, were you with Rain at all when you were doing your military service? Because I know he went at about the same time.
Rodney.
yeah, I think he had the same. Had to go to the military at the same time, but not the same place though.
Would have been cool if you guys would have been
That
bunk
Yeah.
mates.
would have been awesome.
Oh, hey,
But yeah, speaking of sleep deprivation, yeah, definitely grinding helped at the military because we had to do like 20-hour days at the forest, then if lucky 4 hours sleep, and then another 20 hours of forest grinding. But
Piece of cake.
yeah.
well,
Yeah. Congratulations on 200 mil mining again, man. Quite a nice achievement. Lots of commitment and dedication to that.
Thanks.
No worries.
hey,
So,
hold on.
next
Wait,
question.
wait.
Yeah,
I
all
got
good.
so Acid. I don't really expect anyone to remember this, but I remember the day you got 200 mil mining. I had this one class that I really didn't like. It was called World of the Arts. It was some kind of stupid required class that we had to take, which required us to watch these different films and plays and stuff from other countries. And I left that class early to come to the 200 mil party. And I remember I logged on like 2 minutes too late. I was so disappointed in myself. If I would have ran back, I would have got on time. But I
Don't worry,
left
mate.
left
You had
left
that.
class early, and I still didn't even get on in time.
Oh, good times. So, where would you guys prefer to have a clan citadel introduced into RuneScape? Would you prefer it on the new continent Zaya, or would you rather it on the current continent that we have?
I mean, it wouldn't really matter. I mean, all you do is like enter a portal and you go to some random place, right?
Yeah.
I don't
I guess a
think
better
waiting
question.
until Zaya is necessary if they even do this. But
I guess a better question is, would you like to see them in RuneScape?
as long as it's not like the RS3 where you have those like things that follow you around. What am I thinking of?
Avatars.
Avatars, yeah, I don't like that. But I mean, if there was like a place, just like even if there's just like a bank booth where everybody in the clan can hang out, like that'd be fine. I don't know, kind of cool.
Would it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really mind. Either way is fine. In game or outside the game, all good.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't like to see them in the game. They almost they felt like they became a daily, like that I was
Yeah.
forced to go contribute to the
A lot of
citadel.
clans
So
did have it mandatory.
yeah, definitely. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, the clan I was with had it as a mandatory requirement to maintain your rank in the clan. And it was just every week or so you just go in AFK mining for an hour and a half and get access to the avatar. It was just free XP for no real reason, something I'm kind of against. whatever though. Not fussed enough to throw a tantrum about it, but it would be something that I'd vote no to if it was polled in the future.
All right, so talk about one of your greatest fears. That is, if you do have a fear, tell us about it. What don't you like about it? Why don't you like it?
I don't really like public speaking. Just who the fuck? Like, if you like public speaking, you're fucking weird.
I think the less you care about the people who you're talking to's opinion, the less like fearful you'd be of doing it. Like,
Just imagine.
I know for a
naked.
communication class that I had, I didn't know anyone in there. I didn't give a fuck about anyone in there, so I didn't really feel nervous when I did it.
But also, get sleep paralysis a lot, like once a week or so. That's pretty scary. I don't know if I'm like. There's not much you can do about
Elaborate
it. I mean,
on
sometimes-
sleep paralysis.
I remember you telling Harm about that, and he actually got scared.
I mean, it's just like I can't explain it. It's a really weird phenomenon where like you wake up and you're just paralyzed. Like you can open your eyes,
What?
then yeah, you can open your eyes, but you can't move your body for like. It feels like it's a long time. It's probably only like 15 seconds. But it's even more scary because you're like still dreaming, and like for me, there's usually like this really dark figure standing over me. It's really terrifying.
What the hell?
Kind of, it's really fascinating though. It's terrifying, but at the same time, it's like really fascinating just to look up on it, study it and stuff.
For me, I don't know. I kind of have a fear of everyone in the world turning against me or something. Call me a schizo freak or what, but that's something that has always been present in my life in Cerberus. But yeah, fears are fears, and they have to be faced. And I face them every day when I walk socially awkwardly in their streets and with my eyes straight to the asphalt and thinking about my own shit. But that's life for you. Can't believe I'm saying this right now.
I'll say one of my greatest fears now is kind of your guys are a little bit different than mine. I'm really scared of snakes. I don't know why. I've just really always been terrified of them. Yeah, I'd say that'd be like my greatest fear. I remember this one time back when I used to go to like summer sports camps and stuff like that for just to keep busy. I was like 10 or 11 years old, and for some fucking reason we had some kind of day where they brought like a whole bunch of exotic animals like lizards and snakes and stuff like this, and I was sitting at a table and they put this snake on the table and they said like no sudden movements or it could frighten the snake, and dude, this thing was so fucking big, and I made that sudden movement and I just fucking ran. Man, I am
Like when they tell you,
I am really, really terrified of snakes. I don't know what about it, but Jesus.
My greatest, I guess, my greatest fear. I don't know. It sounds a little bit nerdy, really, but I think it's like losing my RuneScape account, like getting banned or getting hacked. Like I've put nearly 3K hours into this game, and just like having that sort of disappear from you is kind of, that's a scary thing, man. Like call me a nerd, whatever, but that does scare me. I wouldn't like that to happen.
My greatest fear at the moment is the day that I run out of agility XP to gain. I'm almost halfway done with it. It's closing in on me.
take into account. You
Guess
still
we'll
try
have to.
agility after 20 mil though.
Yeah, but I'd get bullied. It's like if I go straight to 200 mil without stopping at 180, I'll get bullied.
You get bullied anyways, so do what you love. Follow your heart.
All right, Case. Fuck it. All right. If you guys won $5 million in the lottery, what would you guys do with that money? Acid?
Case.
I guess I'd spend like a fifth of it to improve the quality of my life, and the rest probably I'd invest.
Yeah, I would. I wish it was like 50 million. Nah, but 5 million. I don't know. I'd probably take a year off of college, dick around for a year, buy a nice.
Take 4 years off college. Fuck that shit.
But
5 mil in the bank.
5 mil is a lot. But I mean,
You could.
it's you
certainly
could
do it the rest of your
conservatively
life.
use it over your lifetime, but
Not even conservative. You'd be very well off for the rest of your life. 5 million.
I mean, I'd buy like a $500,000 house and just dick around for a while, finish off college, and I don't really know what I'd do.
200 mil all, of course.
Yeah, you could financially afford to stay at home and do nothing for like 5 years and get 200 mil all. That's for sure.
Yeah, 50 years. I don't know. Honestly, like the day I win 5 million, I probably wouldn't even do anything different. Like I would just be like, okay, cool, I can keep playing RuneScape the rest of my life. I mean, I would like I'd invest like 95% of it and put like put like 200K in the bank.
Yeah, I think Randy's the idea of being a bum for the rest of your life sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
I
the
would buy
opportunity to buy
I would buy
$5 million
season
house.
tickets for life to Viking games.
I'd buy like an $80,000 condo or some shit. Like I would not go all out.
80,000? You ain't really getting a shit for 80,000.
All I need is like 2 rooms, dude.
Man, you need to learn to live large, luxurious. You're a millionaire. You don't need to use something the size of like a mobile home.
You won't be a millionaire for long if that's your attitude.
Yeah, you $5 million house.
Yeah, he's
Buy
gonna,
by money.
He's gonna be paying his bills and fucking run out.
Did you ever watch that documentary I told you to watch about all-star athletes going broke?
Yeah. They had.
You watched it?
Yeah, they have some really good examples on there.
Did you learn nothing?
There are a lot of idiots. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna throw like a $50,000 birthday party and spend $10,000 on a cake. I'm not gonna.
It kind of sounded what you were gonna do, though.
I would buy a nice house, a nice car, and I don't know. I would enjoy myself. That's for sure.
Would you give any of the money to like family or close friends and stuff?
I'd say maybe like a handful of friends who I've had
I might
for.
buy him a meal.
I'd say like a handful of my friends who I've had for like the last 10 years. I'd like pay off their college, or like my family, I'd like pay off their house, let them get a better house, something like that. I mean, 5 million isn't enough to where you can really just go reckless and give everyone everything.
Yeah. Like just enough to live a decent life. A really good life.
Alright, maybe I'd buy my mom a house.
There you go.
Guess how-
Maybe. There's a
You
maybe
better
in there.
give your mom
What is
the
that?
world.
Aww.
Alright, so if you guys play any high-level sport, can you talk about it and elaborate a bit about what you play, what you do, and why you do it? For me, I don't know about high-level sport, but I have played a lot of sport. I played soccer, or football as it's more commonly known, for about 8 to 9 years I played that for. Played cricket, which is a pretty popular sport in Australia. And I also played water polo for 3 years. Water polo was probably the most challenging sport that I played. It was tough. It was physically tough.
I got a fucking mouthful of water.
Did you spit it out?
Nearly.
Jeez.
Anyways, esports, baby. Professional esports right here.
Yeah, grinding is a sport.
Yeah, Yeah, it is.
Back in high school, I'm a senior in college now, but in high school for all 4 years, I played football, baseball, and basketball. I play intramural basketball now. It's really what it is just a bunch of fucks who aren't good enough to make the real basketball team playing in a league amongst themselves. Um, in baseball, I played varsity baseball for 3 years. That was really nice. We sucked our first 2 years. In football, I was a fullback for our team, and when we got up to varsity, I moved to linebacker. I was a backup linebacker. And basketball, um, I was like in high school, I was like the 10th man on our team. Like our team was really good. We were like 65-2 in our first 2 years that we played. So I really only played in games where intramural basketball is
I
pretty fun. It's the refs fucking suck and that pisses me off. My teams are so bad. My intramural team in college is so bad.
yeah, I don't play any sports right now, but I used to play floorball, which is a big deal here in Scandinavia and Finland. Quit like 6 years ago or so, because I guess I'm a bit of a solo sport person than a team sport person.
What is uh what is that sport like?
It's like hockey with a ball inside, no ice.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think
don't really
ice
play any
hockey is a
sports.
pretty. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
I don't really play any sports, but I do cycle from time to time in the summer if I can be bothered.
I think ice hockey looks like a pretty fun sport. Like it looks pretty aggressive, but it looks like you need a lot of skill to be able to play the game. I reckon I'd like to learn it, or at least enjoy watching some of the NHL, I think it's called in America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the Stanley Cup Finals on right now.
Is that just like the major events of hockey? I don't know
Yeah,
too much
like
about
Super
it.
Bowl.
Whoa,
Oh,
don't
sweet.
compare it to the Super Bowl, even though it's kind of the same thing, but
It is.
Super Bowl is uncomparable.
All right, so we're just going to be taking questions from the chat now, guys. If you have any questions you'd like to be answered or any topics you feel you'd like to see our opinion on, just post them in the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. So we've got here, should begging be bannable?
No.
I think that excessive
Like,
begging is very annoying, but I don't think it should be bannable at all. It's if you're getting annoyed by someone, just put them on your ignore list.
Yeah, people have the right to make a fool out of themselves.
Hmm. Yeah,
Alright,
it's
so
not something I want to see people getting banned for. You can just add them to ignore if they're getting on your nerves.
Yeah.
yeah, true. It's kind of like that. Have you guys seen the guy that's he's like dancing for GP and he was like on a Chris Archie vid where he showed like his bank from just begging for money basically, and he'd made like upwards of 50 mil just from doing that. Like it's weird to see that people would give to people
Yeah, we
like
need
that.
beggars. You know, they bring in the idiot tax.
Exactly.
That's so true.
My line.
Yep.
So here's a good question about the new Slayer updates and what's going on with Slayer. So can you guys talk about why you believe restructuring how the Slayer Masters give assignments will hurt Slayer? So the update basically gives each assignment a Slayer Master gives an equal chance of being given now, or when they update it.
I I mean, if you look at the assignments that you get right now, they're obviously they're not balanced as to the ratio you get them, but I mean, you don't want to be getting assigned Turoths as often as you get assigned Dagonoths. It's not it shouldn't change the XP per hour, but it's really going to make it very difficult to slay efficiently and actually build up points.
We'll have to see how it plays out, because they might remove some shitty tasks.
If they
I mean, they might
do remove
water
things,
fiends,
if they do remove
stuff
things like that, then I think it could be solid. But
past the poll, right?
I don't think it hasn't even been
Yeah, pretty
polled.
sure,
It
yeah.
hasn't even been polled yet.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you're right.
positive. Yeah,
I think it should have elaborated more on that one, though.
I really do as well. I think when people vote on it, they're not gonna have a full understanding of what they're actually voting for. I don't even think the JMIs know the kind of impact it could potentially have. It could really be a big game changer to the skill.
Yeah. I think everything's fine as it is, really.
Like I see someone saying Scaberites. I don't want to be getting assigned
Yeah.
Scaberites.
Why are you going to go out your way to mess around with this when you could mess around with my Marks of Grace? It's silly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with that and what develops from that.
I think skilling and PVM should be more complementary, but idea of a skilling boss is a bit too far, I guess.
Look at chats. That's what it is. That's the
No,
guy
I
who
was
put it on
gonna do
Reddit. The guy who put it on Reddit. That was his design for the boss.
Oh god. Wow. That's crazy.
At least you try. He's got fucking blood coming out the bottom of it.
Oh. Alright, so would you guys like to see the Great Orb Project minigame implemented into old school?
No,
I have no idea what that is, so I'm gonna say
Not
no.
really.
it's not.
Wasn't it like a rune crafting minigame?
Oh wait, does it give a rune crafting X boosting outfit? Then no.
I'm not in favor of it. I wouldn't like to see the update. It would ruin the old
Yeah,
school
neither would I.
feel.
Yes.
For sure. Alright, so would you guys be... Such a good idea. Alright, so would you guys be in favor of 2K total level worlds?
I think so. Only if they made like one of them.
I think 2K. I mean, I want 2K, but I think 2K might be too much.
How many people are there with over 2,000 total though? It's got to be several hundred. I don't think it would be that bad to have a 2K plus total.
If it's only 700, then it's
700.
not going to be.
Well, I mean,
I think they should do like 1800.
I don't really like that number. I like 2,000. They could add one world like that.
It would get DC'd so much that no thanks,
Honestly,
because of jealousy.
hey, that's something I've never thought about. Yeah.
We get DC'd anyways.
Yeah.
There was like 1,600 people, by the way.
Okay, yeah, that's a lie. You could definitely go roll with 2K.
Alright, so in RuneScape, is there any place that you guys have like never visited, never been to?
On this part, for the Darkness of Hallowvale quest, I've just heard it's been.
Hey, Dutch.
Yeah, I've never been there before. Yeah, it's one place I've never been that I can think of off the top of my head.
I just looked at my music tab to see. Because I've done all the quests, I've done all the diaries, so I've done a lot of crap. The thing that comes to mind is the place where you get the squirks.
Sorcerer's
Talk about-
Garden.
Sorcerer's Gate. I've never been there, and there's four music tracks that you unlock when you go in there. I've never been there. Right? I don't even know how to get there. In Zenaris or something?
It's near the Shanty Pass. Just talk to the person there. They teleport you.
Huh.
I've never been there either in this game, I don't think.
Yeah, just looking at the world map now, I don't think there's any place that I haven't really been. really like going over to the elf place though. I think that's just like, I don't know, it frustrates me, that area. It's like, it's huge and there's like several, it's like a maze really. I just don't like going there. I try to avoid that area as much as I can.
Edge.
No, the like Taranwin or something like that. I don't know how it's pronounced. Yeah, like the Elven land basically. Alright, so this is a question that can just be answered by Randy, because he's our leader. Do you think the gap between the smiley requirements and full member is too narrow?
First, let me talk about the adjustments that we made to our requirements. So it's been adjusted to where now it is top 500 EHP rank. It qualifies to be a full member, and a smiley is top 1000 rank. Now, I don't really think that making the smiley... Now, there were a lot of people, I'd say when we were discussing these adjustments, this was one thing that a lot of people were talking about, but I don't really think it's that bad because it's not like the end-all guideline for smileys. Like I elaborated on, if someone doesn't have top 1k rank, say maybe they were a newer player who started up, and say maybe they over like a 3-month span had like 500 EHP, which might be a lot to some people, but it's really not too bad. But if someone can be making some solid gains like that, they'd be one of these people we would make an exception for. So no, I'd say I don't really think it's too narrow of a gap, given that we are using our discretion in allowing people not in the top 1k to come in.
Yeah, I definitely supported the changes to the requirements. I'm definitely happy we decided to change them because it was about time for a change in the clan.
Sounds like you're happy you got that bronze star, is what it's sounding like.
Man, that's definitely one of the perks of it for sure. That bronze star next to my name looks real sexy. But
not a bronze star,
yeah.
you idiot. It's a poo star.
No, bronze star is better, man. I don't want poo next to my name.
Lieutenants for the win.
How many lieutenants do we have?
A
lot.
6, 7-ish. Somewhere in that vicinity. Somewhere in that vicinity, I'd say. I don't really know the exact number.
To be honest, it would be nice to see more ranks like Colonel or Major or things like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We have those in the RS3 set of people. That ranking system. Sorry.
What was that? I didn't hear.
They had, Colonel and other things like that in RS3 clans.
Is that still in?
Yeah, because they don't use... We've got the friends chat, and they have friends chat and clan chat.
Okay. Yeah, it would be nice to get some different colors in the clan chats as well. I mean, for the most part, everything is just gold, whether it be a smiley or what have you.
Yeah.
But
Alright, so is there any more questions from the chat at all?
we'll give them a minute.
I don't see any.
Yeah, I'll give them a minute.
Alright, we'll while we take this moment here, how about everyone talk about the most recent achievement that they have made over the last week or so?
I went out Friday.
Oh, shit.
What'd you do?
I didn't play at all Friday. I think like 2 hours Friday.
Wow.
My recent achievement, most recently, just got rank 15 hunter, so that's pretty good.
50 or 15?
I'm just 15, rank 15 now. Slowly climbing up the top page ranks at the moment. 57 mil hunter at the moment, so that's pretty good.
Oh yeah. I hit 150 mil crafting yesterday, and during this stream I also got 91 rune crafting, so yay.
Congrats.
Also, congratulations. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
All right. I was just gonna say congratulations to Trance Music on his 1 bill overall XP.
Oh my god.
I didn't get it yet.
When you get it, you're close though. I know you're close.
3 hours.
Congratulations in advance, Trans. Round of applause, please, with Trans underscore music, rank 9 overall.
Congratulations,
Honestly,
Trance.
I don't put much stock into arbitrary XP goals like that, but thank you.
My most
Like, I'm
recent
gonna feel
achievement-
no different the second before I get it, and the second I get it. Like, it's just adding a digit. You know what I mean? The only reason
You
it's
mean
significant is because of, like, the base 10 number system, which, like, not even that good of a system, really.
As for me, nothing concrete this week. Just been managing to build up certain consistency with my games.
As for me, I have just recently crept on the top page of Magic and Farming. Silver Star in the clan, 1 mil cups of tea, and 90 something mil agility, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing off 200 mil craft over the next month. It's really kind of like my top goal right now, I'd say.
Top page splashing, congrats.
Anyone have any?
What did you say, Trans?
Huh?
What did you just say?
Someone said top page splashing, oh, grats in chat.
Oh, I thought you said Grats Randalicious on top page strength.
Oh.
Got that a while
That'd
ago.
be funny.
Someone asked me what my opinion on RuneScape streamers, particularly Spark, Mog Time, Skill Specs, and other dumb fucks, he says. I don't watch any of them, so I don't really think I can form an intelligent opinion to talk about them. I don't really watch that many streamers anyway, so that's why.
Cap King for life.
I'd say I watch Cap King more than any other streamer
Yeah.
combined. Without Cap King, I probably wouldn't even go on Twitch.
I'm surprised he doesn't get more viewers, to be honest. He's quite entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, well, I think that just about does it for the 16th Hexis podcast, guys. Just want to say a quick thank you to all our viewers for tuning in and enjoying and being here for us. You know, without you guys, we wouldn't have these podcasts being so successful, so thank you.
Wanted to say that for those who have watched this whole video, in the description, there's going to be a link to submit topics, suggestions, and questions for us to potentially talk about in the next one. And submit something. If we like it, we'll fill it out.
Thank you and God bless.
Woof.
Yeah, but that should do it. Our next podcast will be June 20th or 21st. Is that Father's Day? Does anyone know if that, or is that next Sunday?
I have no idea.
Yeah, neither.
I don't know if Father's Day is the same.
It's only Father's Day in America, right?
I don't know if.
Yeah, I don't think it's Father's Day here.
All right, well, if it's that weekend, we'll do it on a Saturday. We'll be streaming it. It should be all good. Hopefully, the person we have hosted shows up on time, so everything can go as planned. And I really liked how it went having someone else host this. For comment who you guys think should host the next podcast, and I'll go ahead and talk to him. Lynx Titan is not available to do it, so I wouldn't think he'd be.
We asked him.
But that should just about do it though. So thanks for watching.
See ya.
Peace.